evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Cherry Hill East High School Gymnasium, where tonight the East Cougars meet Cherry Hill West Lions in Girls Gymnastics. Good evening once again. I'm Matt Lesher along with Mike Furman. Tonight we have two winless teams, Mike, and we're going to hopefully have someone come out here with a win. What are we looking forward to tonight's program?
Well, we'll start off with the vault, then we'll go to uneven bars. There'll be a short intermission after that. Then we'll go to the balance beam, and finally the floor exercise. Should be a good one tonight. Both teams haven't won yet, but we're looking for a win from one team tonight. Should be a good one.
East Cougars, West Lions. We'll be right back with the opening event here on Cable 18. Okay, starting it for Cherry Hill East, you see Joanne Kobolinski stretching.
Joanne is a junior at Cherry Hill East.
Joanne Kobolinski. Opening event here tonight.
Her teammates are behind her.
As we wait for the scores. Seven, 7-5. Amy DeSanto for Cherry Hill High School West. Because there's only one event. I will eventually say something. 7.0 and a 7, also a 7. Robin Kovitz for Cherry Hill East. Well executed.
Robin is another junior at Cherry Hill East. In fact, 3 of their 4 performers tonight will be juniors.
Well, I just wanted to mention that the key in the event here is basically to stick your landing is what the judges are looking for. If you can get over and keep your landing, pretty much guaranteed a good score. As we await the score for Kovitz, 7-7, 7-4. He's scoring fairly high here. Cherry Hill West, Jen Mesa. That was a good vault there for Cherry Hill West.
Jen's awaiting her scores.
Seven two. And also a 7.2 as the judges agree on the scoring there. Coming up next, Cherry Hill East with
Mickey Schneider, the captain.
Captain Mickey Schneider.
The landing could have been a little better there.
We'll have to see that in the score. But obviously, the landing that Mike Furman noticed did not affect the scores. You get a 7.8 and also a 7.8. That was Mickey again from Cherry East.
Mickey's first scores were the highest up to this point.
Now West moves their vault into place as each team comes with their own ones that the players are used to. Cherry West coming in tonight with coaches Bud Collins and Jeannie Clapp, which I understand soon to become Mrs. Collins within a month. Interesting facts you learn here tonight.
Sarah Duvall is the captain of Cherry Hill West.
And the last score there on Schneider on our second vault was a 7-8 and an 8-1. 8-1 being the best so far tonight. First score to break into an 8. Now let's go here, Cherry Hill West. Sarah Duvall.
Nice vault by Sarah. And Sarah for her second attempt. Upcoming.
Her first attempt was a 7-2 and a 7-1 level of difficulty on this one. Coming up here is 9-0. Sarah Duvall over. She didn't stick the landing. We're going to have to see how the judges will score this one.
It was a more difficult vault, however.
Beth Marr is also a very difficult vault. Junior. Waiting for the Duval score. Beautiful job, Beth Marwitz with Cherry Elise. Definitely going to call on a high score on that one.
Yes, I agree there. Very good vault by Beth. She's been a gymnast for practically all her life.
And she gets rewarded with an 8-4 and an 8-5. Here comes Beth again. Here comes a very difficult dive. Vault. Excuse me. I think I'm doing...
On the more difficult vault, Beth had a little trouble with the landing.
Waiting for you for our second set of scores. Eight, 6, 8-4. Beth Marwitz had the highest scores in this event so far from Cherry Hill East and from Cherry Hill West overall. It's now Ashley Cranner.
Perfect landing by Ashley. Ashley going for her second vault. As soon as the judges give the scores.
7-2, 7-3. Came over perfectly and a little stumble there on the landing, but that should not really affect the scoring. Seven, 6, 7-2. As that concludes the vault.
The East, the East gymnasts got higher scores than the West gymnasts in the vault competition.
Coming up next, we'll be moving on to the uneven parallel bars. Here we go, uneven bars.
Jen Mesa up.
Cherry Hill West. She makes the transition now onto the second bar. Excellent landing there by Jen.
Just wait and see what the judges score for Jen Mesa. Good performance.
In this sport, the coaches have a little bit of work to do during the meet. They have to prepare the equipment for their participant specifications. Adjustments are allowed to be made for different players of different heights. And now we're going to get the scores. We're going to get a 4.0 and 3.2. Here we go, Cherry Hill West.
Amy DeSanto. Oh, unfortunate miss there. A little trouble on the landing there. An unfortunate miss early in the program for Amy might have cost her some big points. As Matt has said previously, coaches are making more adjustments to meet the specifications of each competitor.
Next participant for Cherry Hill West is Sarah Duval. As we still await the scores here for DeSanto. .3 for DeSanto and a 3.9. Here comes now Duval. And she goes right away and she's changing bars. Good landing there for Duval. A highly diverse routine there with some very hard moves. Mike.
Good performance by Sarah Duval.
As we'll await her scores also. Scoring process, a very complex one. As you can watch right now, one of the judges, as you see her scoring, the participant. The last participant, Ashley Kramer.
Still awaiting Sarah Duval's scores on the uneven bars.
.8 and a 6.1. Excellent scores.
Those are by far the highest for Cherry Hill West up to this point.
A little different coming off on that landing, but that did the trick, and I'm sure that'll bring on also high scores there, Mike.
Good but short performance for Ashley Cranmer. As we do await the judges' scores, let me add that East has only 3 competitors in the uneven bars, which could be a disadvantage.
Yeah, very rewarding routine it is with a score of 6.7 and 6.7 as the judges confer and agree. Mickey Schneider from Cherry Hill East. Perfect routine, Mickey Schneider.
Good performance by the captain, Mickey Schneider. She's the leader of this Cherry Hill East squad.
This is Joanne Kobolinski coming up next for Cherry Hill East.
She's making her adjustments as we wait for the judges' score on Mickey Schneider's routine.
And we'll start out with a 6.7 from the close judge here on your television screens. And the other judge gave her a 7.0. 6.7 and a 7.0. Excellent scores to start out the routine for Cherry Hill East. Once again, here comes Joanne Kobolinski, as we previously mentioned. Joanne Kobolinski.
That was a solid performance by Joanne. She had a great landing and a good performance overall.
I'll tell you one thing about the Cougar team. There's a lot to look forward to next year with 3 out of the 4 participants in most of these events here today being juniors.
Oh, we have a little change. It'll be Beth Marowitz instead of Robin Kovitz.
6.4, 6.7 the scores for Kobolinski. When you only put 3 in the lineup, you're allowed to throw in a substitution. And this is what it is. Beth Marowitz Jr. Beth coming off a good routine on the vault. Let's watch her now here on the uneven bars. Good routine, solid. Score 7.2 for Marowitz. And a 7-7 performance.
7-7 was the best score by either side on uneven bars.
And that's all after 2 events. We'll be right back with the final 2 events, balance beam and the floor. You're watching the East Cougars and the West Lions here on Cable 18.
Everyone has their own idea of a hero.
Magic Johnson. Arnold Schwarzenegger. Mr. Neal.
My hero, Gloria Stefan.
Martin Luther King. Mr. Hope.
These are teachers, but to the kids they've reached, they're heroes. They've given them hope. They've given them choices. They've changed their lives.
Well, the children are the heroes.
The most fulfilling thing is watching a child succeed.
I just like to help them make their dreams come true.
Teachers have the power to wake up young minds, to be heroes, to make a difference. Reach for that power. Teach. If you want to make an impact on our future, call 1-800-45-TEACH.
Mr. Wilkins.
Mrs. Eisenhardt.
Mr. Adler.
Be a teacher. Be a hero.
As we come into the second half of the event, it is Cherry Hill East 44.9, West 38.5, as we see some good action so far tonight by East.
Yeah, we have. It's been very competitive by both teams, actually. Good scores, better scores from East so far, and that's why they are winning. We have 2 more events left. Anything can happen. The scores are close. We shall see what happens at the end.
Now we'll move over to the balance beam. Coming now, here comes Robin Kovitz onto the balance beam.
Oh, unfortunate fall from the balance beam by Robin Kovitz. Another fall by Robin. Pretty good landing by Robin. Overall, she probably isn't too happy with her performance, but a good try by Robin. Next up for Cherry Hill East will be Mickey Schneider.
But as we go every other, we're going to move now over to Cherry Hill West at Tara Rogers. First time we've seen her today.
Robin's scores are 6-0 and a 6-2.
Showing a great deal of mobility as she slips off the beam after that maneuver. Teammates respect her ability by providing the silence for her concentration as Tara begins winding down her event. You might not notice it on TV, but balance beam is a difficult event as the bar being, so extremely narrow. And a lot of these participants are trying very hard and difficult moves. A great deal of strength is needed. And that's it there for Tara Rogers for Cherry Hill West. Five and a 5-1 for Tara Rogers of Cherry Hill West. Now up on the beam now for Cherry Hill East. We have Mickey Schneider. No, we don't. Mike Furman. Who do we have here?
Another fall. Every competitor up to this point has fallen off the balance beam, but this is the toughest event. So it's not uncommon to see a fall once in a while. A nice landing by Mickey Schneider as she finishes up her routine.
Now here coming up for Cherry Hill West, Kirsten Flynn.
It's taken a long time for the scores of the judges. She has received a 6-5 and a 7-4 from the judges.
Well, finally, here comes Kirsten Flynn for Cherry Hill West. Missing the bar as she came backwards. And stuck her landing. Kirsten Flynn for the Lions.
As we await the judges' scores, Joanne Kobolinski is getting ready for her performance on the balance beam.
Coming up next will be for Cherry Hill East. Joanne Kobolinski coming up next. Here comes the score, 6-6. And a 6-6. Both judges agreeing the same. Here comes Joanne Kobolinski.
A solid performance by Joanne Kobolinski with many different maneuvers. She did not fall once, and she should receive a very good score for that performance.
As you now watch some of her action in instant replay, you see the reasons why the score should be fairly decent there for Kobolinski.
In my opinion, that was the best routine on the balance beam by anyone up to this point. Joanne received a 6-8 from one judge. And a 6-5 from the other judge. Lower scores than I expected.
Here coming up for Cherry Hill West, we have Ashley Rayner.
I think that's Cranmer, not Craner.
Good job by Ashley. She tried a bunch of stuff up there, and it was well executed.
While we await her score, the last competitor for Cherry Hill East for this event, Beth Marowitz, is getting ready.
It has a return score of 6-4. Change it. 6-4, 6-1 for the last participant for West. Now here we come with Beth Marowitz Jr. for Cherry Hill East. The fourth and final participant for East.
Ooh, another unfortunate fall. That's 2 in a row, and now her teammates are trying to support her on. This has been an uncharacteristically shaky performance by Beth. Good landing by Beth, however.
Coming up now here for Cherry Hill West, their last participant, Sarah Duval.
We're still waiting the scores of Beth Morowitz's routine. And once again, the judges are taking a long time to decide what they should give Beth. She receives a 5-9
5-9.
and a 5-9.
Sarah Duval. Sarah Duval for the Lions. consistently good through the routine. Good effort put out by her. As we await her scores, before we move on to the floor exercise. Four three and a 5-0 for Duval as we now move over to the floor exercise as that concluded the balance beam.
Participating in the floor exercise for Cherry Hill East, that is Kirsten Flynn. Excellent performance by Kirsten Flynn as she starts off this floor exercise routine with a bang. Very lively performance, and you cannot find too many faults in this performance. While we are awaiting Kirsten's scores, Robin Kovacs is getting ready for Cherry Hill East. She receives a 6-3 and a 6-6 from the judges. Now it's Robin Kovacs' turn from Cherry Hill East for her floor exercise.
Junior Robin Kovacs for Cherry Hill East. One thing that's great about the floor exercise with the music and everything, you really get a chance to show your creativity and do what you do best.
Solid performance by Robin with a variety of moves.
Now coming over for Cherry Hill West, Tara Rogers. 6'6" for COVID. And to join her 6'6" is 6'4". Here comes Tara Rogers for Cherry Hill West.
Good performance by Tara Rogers from Cherry Hill West. Tara sees a 7-4 and a 7-0. And now for Cherry Hill East, Joanne Kobolinski on the floor exercise. Excellent routine by Joanne as she showed a multitude of maneuvers in that one and should receive high scores from the judges. Ashley Cranmer will be next on the floor for Cherry Hill West. Joanne received a 6-2. And a 6-8 for her performance. I think her score should have been a little higher than that. Many different maneuvers were performed by Ashley during her floor exercise performance, in which it was a solid performance. Mickey Schneider will be next on the floor exercise for Cherry Hill East. This is going to be a battle down to the wire as these scores are very close. This is going to be a close match. And Ashley received a 7-3 and a 7-5 for her performance. Good job, Ashley. Very energetic and lively performance from senior captain Mickey Schneider. While she awaits her scores, Sarah Duvall, the captain from Cherry Hill West, will be the last performer of the evening for West. And from the judges, Mika receives a 7-4. And the 6-9. Now it's Sarah Duvall's turn from Cherry Hill West. What a solid performance with many different maneuvers for Sarah Duvall. Excellent way to cap off the night for Cherry Hill West. She should receive high scores for her performance. And finally, last but not least, Beth Marowitz will perform her floor exercise routine for Cherry Hill East once Sarah receives her scores from the judges. A 7-5 and an impressive 7-8. That 7-8 has been the best up to this point. And now Beth Marowitz, the last competitor of the evening. What a solid performance to end the evening for this gymnastics meet. Beth did her routine to the popular Rocky theme songs of the Rocky movies. She should receive good scores considering it was an excellent routine, and our cameraman thinks she will receive a 7.4 and a 7.9. Only an assumption, though. Remains to be seen. This score is very important because this is a very close match. It was a very competitive match considering both teams have not won a game or a meet yet. But that definitely will change this evening as Cherry Hill West just gave a nice little cheer to the officials and to home Cherry Hill East. Beth received an 8.7. She received an 8.3 and a 8. The cameraman was wrong, and those were the highest marks of the evening on the floor exercise, and that could be pivotal in the outcome of this match, which was very close all the way through. At intermission, it was 44.9 for East to 38.5 for West, but that could change very quickly. Beth's scores, though, could have propelled East to their first victory of the season. Cherry Hill East notched their first win this evening over visiting West, 86.2 to 76.9 in a close but hard-fought match. Beth Marwitz was the MVG, most valuable gymnast of the evening, with her impressive performance in the floor exercise to get the win for East. For my co-commentator, Matt Leshner, this has been Mike Furman. Thanks for watching.